Yeah, I don't even know really like what to say for chapter 104 of Kagurabachi. It's really like it's causing a scratch in my brain that I can't itch it at the moment, you know? It's like it's tickling the neurons, bruv, but it's not. I don't know, it's just got me lost. I don't know what to think of Yura. He's so interesting. Like he is by far the most interesting character in the series for me right now, and I just cannot get a read on this guy and like who he really is and his true motives. But this chapter does like it puts a lot of it in perspective, all right? So we start off with the Yura flashback. I open this chapter, I did not expect to see young Yura. He's there without his face tats, without his piercings. His eyes actually only have one ring in them. His eyes look normal. Don't know what that's about. Could be something significant, could just be symbolism, I don't know, but he's not got like the Sword Saint eyes. He looks like a chill dude. He's there with his, I'm gonna assume wife, because she's got like a ring on and they're talking like they're husband and wife, right? Although interestingly, we only see a ring on her hand, and Hokuzono does a very good job of not showing Yura's left hand at all, so it could be that she's married but to someone else and this is a misdirection, but that's not likely. They're probably just married, alright? It's a month after the war ended. We're hearing on the radio that efforts are underway to rebuild the war-torn area, and they're both kind of chilling, you know? They don't seem like they're too badly affected, everything's gone back to normal, and Yura's even there thanking the efforts of the war heroes who he now hates and despises and wants to murder and take the swords from them. So this guy is not only a lot older and originally than we thought he was, because in this chapter, obviously it's like 18 years ago and he's an adult who's married, right? So he's a pretty old dude, like same age as Samura and that most likely in real time. And he looks hella young in this flashback. He looks a lot like Yukisada. I don't think they're actually related. I think Yukisada just takes after Yura in the same way that Yura takes after the Swordmaster. All three of them look very similar, and I think it's just symbolism of like how one is inspired by the other. Yeah, I don't know, he's just bare glazing the heroes of the war, and they're living happily, but obviously last chapter we know that things go wrong, and in this chapter as well, we see that his wife obviously dies. Someone attacks them, whether it's the uprising of the sorcery clans of Japan that happened after the war, whether it's maybe that islanders in the occupied areas, because again, there was a translation where it says, he must have lived in an area that was ravaged by the war. Now that's a mistranslation. What the Sword Saint is actually saying here is he must have lived in an area that was occupied territory, which, as suggested in chapter 72, where we see the map of what the islanders actually invaded in Japan, after the war there might have been occupied territory where islanders actually lived in Japan. So for all we know, he lived in occupied territory as an islander who didn't approve of the war, or as a Japanese person who didn't approve of the war. It still tells us nothing about who he is, especially since we know that he potentially is in occupied territory. But at the same time, if he's not on the island itself, why is his home being destroyed after the war ended? Do you know what I mean? It's like, he wasn't part of the malediction, but he also said that he saw the malediction that day. How is he seeing the malediction if he lives in Japan? So is he Japanese living on the island? Is he from the island living on the island? Or is he an islander living in occupied territories of Japan? Again, Hokuzono's giving us answers without giving us any answers, bro. But whatever, that is memories of Yura's that the Sword Saint is now seeing. That's all we get in terms of Yura's memories though, because he just loves edging us for some reason. We then learn that when it comes to the Shinichi, obviously, if you're not the Swordmaster, you can only control a bit of its power, but the more you allow the Swordmaster to take over your mind, the more power can be wielded. And in Yura's case, he wasn't actually being encroached by the Swordmaster, but he starts trying to take over again this chapter. Well, Chihiro is still fighting Yura, and he's basically saying how, like, Yura, you're stupid, bruv, right? Your plan is terrible, you're lying, the Hishaku is behind all of this, you are behind funding the Rakuzaichi, you're claiming this is for the greater good, but you're the one saying Sojo up, you're the one doing all this stuff. Just let the enchanted blade go, man. Just let it go. Just stop whatever you're doing. You are the problem. And this basically makes Yura just crash out, bro. He's like, you think it's the Hishaku's fault? Bro, the Rakuzaichi existed anyway. Ever since the war, right, loads of like sorcerer factions suddenly revealed themselves. They weren't having to hide anymore. So they came out of the shadows, and there are loads of organizations and events going on just like the Rakuzaichi ever since the war ended that are causing, you know, massive exploitation and victimizing people. It's horrible. So naturally, the only solution Yura has for this is to go, yeah, we need to use the enchanted blades to bring order to this country, and if that means I have to kill every fucking civilian in the city, then I'll do it, which is the part of his plan that I cannot get behind, bro. I don't get it, right? I get you're a messed up dude, all right? You've seen some shit, fine. But your solution is like, we need to use the enchanted blades to stop crime and control the country. Do you know what? Not even that terrible of an idea. And then you're just mercilessly cutting down civilians with Centipede, or at least trying to, and it's like, who are you even trying to protect, bro? You're funding the Rakuzaichi, you're funding Sojo, you're funding the things you claim to hate just for your end goal? Okay, sure, but then how does that make you any better? you then just become the problem. If you're willing to sacrifice innocent people to stop the bad people that sacrifice innocent people, the result is that you get innocent people that have been sacrificed. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just not, the maths ain't mathsing, bruv. 1 + 1 = 4 in this situation, okay? It's not making any sense, bruv. But still, Yura is crashing out. He's like, it's your dad's fault, Chihiro. He had these weapons. He could have controlled this country. He could have stopped these clans and these organizations and these sorcerers from rising up and ruining people's lives. But instead, he locked them all away and sulked in his little house in the mountains. Which is like, okay, that's valid. It's like, again, valid crash out if it wasn't for the fact that you want to use the swords to effectively just make the country more dangerous. I don't know. But anyway, there's this dope panel of Yura screaming like it's your father who made the world like this. The reason why Japan is so messed up and dangerous right now is because of the enchanted blades that he kept from Japan, all right? He locked them away in his basement, didn't let anyone use them, and because of that, all of these criminals and dangerous organizations that came out of the shadows like the Sazanami clan roam free. Which is sound logic. Again, it's sound logic, but the way he's going about stopping it is just so backwards, bro. Anyway, they throw hands a bit more. Chihiro then locks in and uses his own version of copied Suzaku to double up Suzaku on Yura and burn out the Swordmaster even quicker. So yeah, Yura looks like he's pretty cooked. He's now getting like burnt by both of them at the same time. Chihiro almost looks sorry for the guy. He's literally lying there on the floor motionless, like just burning up. And Yura answers the question that the Swordmaster had from a few chapters ago of who are you? And he answers by saying we were nobody. We were just no one, and we needed a hero. Now again, it's confusing why he needed a hero. Like what happened? Because the war was over, so it wasn't events of the war that, you know, killed his wife and destroyed his home. It was either the sorcerer clans and families that rose up, it was either an incident that he got caught up in, or he was attacked by, I don't know, a rogue selection of islanders who didn't listen to the peace treaty and were attacking. I don't know, there's so many options for what went wrong. This is like kind of similar to world politics. Just because there's a treaty in place doesn't mean everyone's gonna, you know, hop on the peace bandwagon. Things go wrong. So there's lots of situations in which Yura could have been affected and his family could have been killed after the war. We just don't know what that is. We don't know, you know, what side he was on, where he was, who hurt him, basically. It's very hard to tell, so we're gonna have to wait and see for that. But either way, he was attacked by someone and he needed a hero, and he thought Chihiro's dad, Kunishige Rokuhiro, and his blades were that hero. But obviously, Kunishige turned away and was like, nope, these blades are coming with me. You can't use them to stop these people. And that's why Yura hates him so much. And at this point, when he says he needed a hero, the Sword Saint locks in and he says, relax, Yura, chill. Give your body to me. I'll give it back in the future. Just for now, relinquish control of your body so that I can lock in and be the hero that you wanted. And then he does take over Yura. We see that his main body passes out, Yura's body starts floating, all the flowers are going crazy, and the Shinuchi looks like it's finally being fully drawn from the sheath. And I'm not gonna lie, if Soga does just take over his body and use the full power of the Shinuchi, then I mean, it just can't be as simple as that, because otherwise we lose. Like, we lose. We will deadass lose. It took 5 Master Swordbearers to take this guy down. We will lose if this is the case. My best bet at the moment is that Soga is in some kind of like middle ground. He might be lying to Yura. I can't imagine he's just seen Kunishige Rokuhiro's kid and gone, I'm gonna kill him. Don't worry, I'll do all this for you. He's probably gonna talk to Chihiro, and I think there is genuinely a chance that he's lying to Yura here and just getting him to stop, because I don't necessarily think Yura's ideals align with Soga's, but at the same time, they very well could. We don't really know enough about him. I don't think the Sword Saint would approve of the way that Yura is sacrificing the lives, or at least trying to sacrifice the lives of innocent civilians to protect the country. Doesn't seem like something Soga would be down with, because he's very like patriotic and you know, protect the nation, and I don't think he would consider sacrificing innocent people as part of protection. So I'm interested to see if they really do align in the same goal, or if they are very different. But if it is just as simple as him taking over Yura's body and using the sword, then I don't know where we go from here, bro. We might just be cooked. Like, it might be over. I really do hope he talks to Chihiro, though, because he is his uncle, after all. That's the chapter. It's just a bit mad, innit? It's just a bit mad. I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting my head around Yura. We definitely need more information, but I'm really liking the way it's going. The action looks great. That panel of Yura, like, Yura's just so interesting, man. He's so interesting. I just need more. I need the full story. How does he go from being like a young, loving husband who's like supportive of the war ending and you know, supportive of the heroes, to someone who is managing to round up a group of like 10 hella strong sorcerers who all follow him without question, taking like damaged kids off the street and grooming them into weapons like he's doing with Yuki Sada and Hirohiko without giving a single shit about them? How has he turned into this just heartless, I don't know. That's an insane switch up. I don't know. We need more. We need more information. I just need to know, because this guy is so interesting. But yeah, that's Kagurabachi 104. Please subscribe. It would very much help if you subscribe. I'm nearly at 1,000 1,000, you know, because Josh is currently draining my bank account by editing these videos for me, and I need a way to pay him, okay, please. If you want the chapter reviews, please subscribe. Yeah, Peak Fiction, as always, like 9.5, 9 out of 10. It's a banger. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.